Sam Gordon squinted at his radar screen aboard the U.S. Relentless. Something wasn't right. The small blip had appeared 3 nights in a row, always in the same sector, always at midnight. As lieutenant of the night watch, he'd been the only one to notice it. "Hey Miller, come look at this," Sam called to his fellow officer. Lieutenant Miller walked over, coffee in hand. "What have you got?" "See this anomaly. It shows up like clockwork. Same spot, same time." Miller frowned. "Probably just equipment malfunction. Run diagnostics." Sam shook his head. "Already did. Twice. This is real." The next morning, Sam reported his findings to Captain Rivera. The captain listened carefully, then made a call to Naval Intelligence. Within hours, the Relentless had new orders: maintain position and continue monitoring the anomaly. 3 days later, a helicopter landed on deck. 2 civilians stepped out, both carrying heavy equipment cases. The woman had short brown hair and moved with purpose. The man was tall with glasses and a serious expression. "Lieutenant Gordon?" the woman asked, extending her hand. "I'm Dr. Olivia Winters, astrophysicist. This is my colleague, Dr. Paul Carter." Sam shook their hands. "You're here about the anomaly?" "Yes," Paul said. "We need to see your data immediately." In the ship's conference room, Sam displayed his findings. The scientists exchanged concerned glances. "This confirms our satellite data," Olivia said. "We've been tracking gravitational inconsistencies for months, but couldn't pinpoint the source." Paul opened his laptop. "Look at this model." The screen showed Earth at the center of a spiral pattern that extended far into space. "What am I looking at?" Sam asked. "A cosmic vortex," Olivia explained. "Earth sits at the center of a massive gravitational phenomenon that absorbs and redirects interstellar matter. It's like a whirlpool in space, but invisible to normal observation." Sam frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "We don't think so," Paul said. "In fact, we believe it's been here for thousands of years. The strange thing is that it's expanding." For the next week, the scientists set up equipment on the Relentless. They worked day and night, measuring and calculating. Sam helped when he could, fascinated by their work. One evening, Olivia called him to the makeshift lab they'd created. "We have a theory," she said, eyes bright with excitement. "The vortex isn't just a random phenomenon. It's been actively concealing Earth." "Concealing it from what?" Sam asked. Paul looked up from his computer. "From whom, you mean?" "We think this vortex has been hiding Earth from detection by other intelligent life." "You're talking about aliens." Sam couldn't keep the disbelief from his voice. "Consider this," Olivia said. "Light, radio waves, and other emissions from Earth get caught in the vortex and redirected. From outside our solar system, Earth would be nearly impossible to detect." Before Sam could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Captain Rivera's voice came over the intercom. "All hands to battle stations. Unidentified object approaching at high speed." The 3 rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, a sleek metallic craft unlike anything Sam had ever seen was approaching the Relentless. "It breached the outer boundary of the vortex," Paul said, checking his tablet. "First time we've recorded anything coming through." Captain Rivera turned to them. "What are we dealing with here?" Olivia's face was pale. "First contact, Captain. Something found its way through our cosmic shield." The strange craft slowed, hovering just a mile from the ship. No weapons were visible, but its presence was unmistakably deliberate. "It's scanning us," Paul whispered, looking at his readings. Sam watched as lights flickered across the alien vessel's surface. The vortex that had hidden humanity for so long had finally been penetrated. Earth's cosmic shield had failed, and no one knew what would happen next. The alien vessel hovered silently for 3 days, while governments around the world argued about what to do. On the 4th day, it sent a message, a series of mathematical equations that scientists quickly recognized as an invitation to communicate. Within a week, a delegation was assembled. Sam Gordon found himself aboard a military helicopter alongside Olivia Winters and Paul Carter, heading for a secluded military base in Nevada, where the alien ship had been permitted to land. "I still can't believe they asked for us specifically," Sam said, looking out the window at the desert below. Olivia nodded. "We were first contact. They'd probably see us as representatives." When they arrived, the base was surrounded by security. The alien craft sat in the center of a hastily constructed containment area, gleaming under the desert sun. It was smooth and oval-shaped, with no visible windows or doors. As they approached, a section of the hull simply dissolved, and two figures emerged. They looked surprisingly human, bipedal with two arms and a head, but their skin had a faint blue tint, and their eyes were larger than normal. They wore simple gray clothing that seemed to shift with their movements. "Welcome," said the taller one in perfect English. "I am Keith Mason, and this is Diane Russell." Sam blinked in confusion. "Those are human names." The alien smiled. "We've adopted your naming conventions for ease of communication. Our actual names would be unpronounceable to you. We represent the Meridian Collective, a federation of 37 spacefaring species." Director Helen Coates of the newly formed Global Contact Agency stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome you." Later, in a conference room, Keith explained their situation. "We've been searching for the source of the cosmic vortex for centuries," he said. "It creates distortions throughout this sector of the galaxy, affecting navigation and communication for many worlds." Diane displayed a holographic map showing a spiral pattern extending from Earth. "Your planet sits at the center of what we call a cosmic blind spot. Ships and probes that approach too closely are redirected without ever knowing what happened." "We didn't create it," Paul said. "We only discovered it recently." Keith looked surprised. "But the vortex bears all the hallmarks of design technology. It's too precise to be natural." "If we didn't make it, who did?" Sam asked. "That's what concerns us," Diane replied. "The vortex is expanding. Over the past century, its radius has increased by 12%. Olivia leaned forward. "That coincides with our industrial revolution and increased energy usage." "Precisely," Keith said. "Your civilization is unknowingly amplifying it. The effects are becoming problematic for interstellar trade and exploration." Director Coates frowned. "You're saying this vortex has been protecting Earth, keeping aliens away?" "Not just aliens," Diane said. "It redirects asteroids, harmful radiation, and other cosmic threats. Your planet has been unusually sheltered. But now the vortex threatens stability beyond your solar system." Keith's expression grew serious. "The collective has sent us with a message. Earth must learn to control the vortex or face quarantine." "Quarantine," Sam repeated. "Your planet would be contained within a barrier field until you gain control of this phenomenon," Diane explained. "No ships in or out. No signals. Complete isolation." "That's outrageous," Director Coates protested. "We just learned about this vortex. We can't control something we don't understand." Keith's eyes softened. "We sympathize with your position. That's why you've been granted one standard year to find a solution before the collective takes action." As the meeting ended, Sam watched Olivia staring at the holographic map, her face deep in thought. "What are you thinking?" he asked quietly. "I'm thinking," she replied, "that something or someone wanted us protected for a very long time. The question is why, and what happens now that we've been found." The news of the Meridian Collective's ultimatum spread quickly through Earth's highest government levels. World leaders gathered at the United Nations for an emergency session, while scientists began working around the clock to understand the cosmic vortex. Admiral Gregory Walsh, a decorated veteran with steel-gray hair and piercing blue eyes, was appointed to lead the global response team. His first action was to assemble the brightest minds from every field. "1 year," he said, addressing the crowded Situation Room. "That's all we have to figure out how to control a phenomenon we barely understand." Sam Gordon, now reassigned as the Admiral's aide, stood in the back of the room. Olivia Winters and Paul Carter sat at the main table alongside dozens of scientists from around the world. The collective believes this vortex is artificial, Walsh continued. If that's true, there must be controls somewhere on Earth. Find them. Research centers were established in every major country. Satellites were reprogrammed to scan for unusual energy signatures. Deep-sea explorations searched for structures on the ocean floor. Nothing of significance was found. 3 months passed. The collective's representatives, Keith and Diane, remained on Earth, observing but offering little help. "They're testing us," Sam said to Olivia one night as they reviewed data, "seeing if we're worthy of joining their club." Olivia looked up from her computer. "Or they're genuinely worried about the vortex. Its expansion rate has increased another 2% since they arrived." In the 4th month, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Laura Barnes, a physicist from a small university in Colorado, requested an urgent meeting with Admiral Walsh. "The vortex isn't artificial," she explained, showing her simulations on the large screen. "It's natural, but not random. It's a response." "A response to what?" Walsh asked. "To us." Laura pointed to a chart showing the vortex's activity over time. "It's like an immune system for a planet. Earth is creating it to protect itself from threats. The more technologically advanced we become, the stronger the vortex grows." Sam leaned forward. "You're saying Earth is alive?" "In a sense," Laura replied. "Not conscious like us, but responsive. The planet has developed a defense mechanism against cosmic threats. The revelation changed everything. If the vortex was created by Earth itself, humans couldn't simply shut it down without potentially harming their own planet." When this information was shared with Keith and Diane, their reaction was unexpectedly severe. "This is worse than we thought," Keith said. "If your planet is generating this distortion naturally, the collective will view Earth itself as the threat." "We've been protected," Olivia realized suddenly. "The vortex has been shielding us from interstellar predators, cosmic disasters, maybe even invasions." Walsh's team began studying the vortex with new understanding. They discovered it had deflected dozens of asteroids throughout Earth's history. It had also absorbed harmful radiation from distant supernovas that would have otherwise sterilized the planet. "We've been unknowingly safe," Paul said during a briefing. "While other worlds suffered cosmic catastrophes, we were sheltered in our little bubble." The ultimatum's deadline grew closer. 6 months had passed when a report arrived from an expedition in Antarctica. Scientists had discovered something beneath the ice, ruins of a structure that predated known human civilization. Walsh called an emergency meeting and displayed the images. Strange symbols covered walls of an unknown material. The architecture was unlike anything in human history. "These ruins are at least 50,000 years old," he explained. "And look at this." He zoomed in on a carving that clearly showed Earth surrounded by spiral patterns. "They knew," Olivia whispered. "An advanced human civilization existed before us, and they knew about the vortex." Sam looked at the ancient symbols with growing hope. If they knew about it, maybe they could control it. And if they could, so can we, Walsh finished, determination in his voice. "Get a team to Antarctica immediately. We need to know what our ancestors discovered." The Antarctic expedition team worked furiously, despite the brutal cold. Led by archaeologist Frank Edwards, they carefully excavated the ancient site, revealing more of the mysterious structure buried beneath the ice. "Incredible," Frank murmured as they uncovered a large circular chamber. The walls were lined with a dark, reflective material, unlike anything modern science had cataloged. Strange symbols flowed across the surfaces, seeming to shift when viewed from different angles. Natalie Cruz, the team's linguist, spent hours recording and studying the symbols. With only 4 months remaining before the collective's deadline, pressure mounted daily. "They're not just decorative," she explained during a video conference with Admiral Walsh. "The patterns form a complete language system, and I'm starting to understand parts of it. Back at headquarters, Sam Gordon watched the feed with growing excitement. "What have you found?" "These people weren't just aware of the vortex," Natalie said, her face flushed with excitement, despite the Antarctic chill. "They actively worked with it. They had technology that could influence its behavior." The expedition made another discovery a week later, a sealed chamber containing artifacts preserved in perfect condition. Among them was a device about the size of a basketball, made of the same dark material as the walls. It had indentations that seemed designed for human hands. Engineer Adam Porter was flown in to examine the device. After careful analysis, he determined it was safe to transport to the main research facility in Nevada. "It's not powered by any energy source we recognize," Adam explained as he worked. "But it's definitely technology, not art. These components are precision engineered." Olivia theorized that the device might be an interface designed to connect with the vortex. The ancient texts suggest they viewed the vortex as a natural force that could be guided, like redirecting a river. For weeks, the team studied the artifact, careful not to activate anything they didn't understand. Adam built scanning equipment to analyze its internal structure without risking damage. "There's a crystalline network inside," he reported one morning. "It resembles neural pathways, almost like a brain." The collective representatives watched these developments with growing concern. "Your ancestors may have contributed to the vortex's creation," Keith warned. "Tampering with forces of this magnitude is what led to the collapse of several civilizations in our recorded history." Despite the warnings, Earth's deadline approached relentlessly. World leaders demanded action, and Walsh authorized the first controlled test of the device. Adam designed a special chamber with multiple safeguards. On a clear morning 2 months before the deadline, the ancient artifact was activated for the first time in 50,000 years. Nothing happened at first. Then, the dark material began to glow with a soft blue light. The symbols around its surface brightened and shifted. "Energy readings are climbing," Paul reported, watching his instruments. "The device is reaching out, connecting to something." Satellite data streamed in, showing disturbances in the vortex's outer edges. The massive cosmic phenomenon was responding to the tiny device. "It's working," Olivia shouted. "We're establishing a connection." Adam adjusted the settings based on Natalie's translations. "I think this configuration should strengthen the vortex temporarily, just enough to prove we have control." The effect was immediate and far more powerful than anyone anticipated. The vortex pulsed visibly from space, expanding rapidly before contracting again. The energy spike lasted only seconds, but it was enough. Alarms blared through the facility. Paul looked up from his screen, his face pale. "We just destroyed something." A collective monitoring station at the edge of our solar system was caught in the pulse. Silence fell across the room as the implications sank in. "It wasn't intentional," Sam said finally. "We can explain that to them." A message arrived from the collective ship minutes later. The words were terse. "This action has been noted as hostile. The collective council has been notified." Frank's voice came through on the communication system from Antarctica. "We've translated more text. These ruins aren't from an extinct civilization. They're from us, humans, but from a previous cycle of advancement. They're warning that the vortex attracts attention. The more we use it, the more visible we become." Sam looked at the ancient device, still glowing softly. "We've just announced our presence to the entire galaxy." Within days of the monitoring station's destruction, Earth's long-range sensors detected multiple ships entering the solar system. They positioned themselves just beyond the vortex's edge, maintaining distance but clearly present. The Meridian collective vessel was joined by ships of various designs, representing species that humans had never seen before. 7 different civilizations at last count, Heather Morgan reported. As the newly appointed security chief of Earth's hastily formed Space Defense Force, she stood before the Emergency Council with a grim expression, each with technology far beyond our capabilities. Admiral Walsh studied the display showing the alien ships. Are they coordinating with each other? No, Heather said. They seem to be operating independently. The collective is trying to maintain some kind of order, but it's clear not all these visitors recognize their authority. Sam Gordon watched from his position near the wall. In the weeks since the Antarctic device had been activated, Earth had transformed. Military forces worldwide were on high alert. Scientists worked without rest to understand the Vortex technology. We need to establish communication, Walsh decided. Let's send Jack Freeman. Jack was Earth's most experienced diplomat, known for resolving seemingly impossible conflicts. With a team including Olivia Winters and Adam Porter, he departed on humanity's first purposely built spacecraft designed to approach the alien vessels. On the journey outward, Olivia briefed Jack on their situation. We can't let them know how little we understand about the Vortex. Several of these species appear to be in awe of our supposed power. So I'm negotiating from a position of strength we don't actually have, Jack summarized. Exactly, Adam confirmed. We've made progress with the device, but we're far from mastering it. Their ship approached the gathering of alien vessels cautiously. The collected ship moved to meet them, allowing Jack's team to dock. Inside, they found not only Keith and Diane but representatives from the other species. One alien, with crystalline growths covering its body, spoke through a translator device. We are the Vosh. We have traversed 16,000 light years to witness the Nexus world. Nexus world? Jack asked. Keith spoke quietly. That's what they call Earth now. Word has spread quickly through interstellar communications. Another alien stepped forward, tall and insect-like. The Eskar Dominion demands access to the Vortex technology. Such power cannot remain in the hands of a single species, especially one so young. Jack maintained a calm expression. Earth is not sharing its protective systems. The Vortex ensures our safety in a dangerous galaxy. The meeting deteriorated as more demands were made. Some species offered technology exchanges, while others made thinly veiled threats. Jack learned that several civilizations wanted to harness the Vortex as a weapon against their enemies. You don't understand what you possess, a reptilian delegate hissed. The ability to redirect space-time could end wars that have lasted millennia. When Jack and his team returned to Earth, they brought troubling news. The alien presence continued to grow, with more ships arriving daily. They're divided, Jack explained to the council. Some see us as a threat to eliminate. Others view us as a resource to exploit. A few genuinely wish to establish peaceful relations. Heather adjusted the defense plans accordingly. We've positioned satellites equipped with the Antarctic technology at strategic points. If attacked, we can at least create localized disturbances in the Vortex. Sam looked around the room at the exhausted faces. This is what Frank warned us about. The ancient ruins contained records of this exact scenario happening before. What happened then? Walsh asked. Unknown, Olivia replied. The records end abruptly. But from what we've translated, they faced a choice similar to ours. Surrender the Vortex or use it to defend themselves. Outside the council chambers, citizens worldwide watched the night sky with new understanding. The stars that had always seemed so distant now held immediate threats. Earth sat at the center of a galactic power struggle, with only the mysterious Vortex standing between humanity and potential destruction. The satellite network around Earth hummed with new power. Adam Porter and his team had worked for weeks to integrate the ancient technology with modern systems. Now a dozen satellites carried smaller versions of the Antarctic device, each capable of influencing a section of the cosmic vortex. The network is online, Adam reported, his voice tired but proud. We can now control approximately 20% of the vortex's output. President Ellen Grant nodded soberly. In the months since the alien ships had gathered, she had aged visibly under the pressure. As Earth's first globally elected leader, she carried the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. Is it enough? She asked. Admiral Walsh exchanged glances with Heather Morgan before answering. For defense, yes. For what you're proposing, it's a risk. The president's plan was bold. Demonstrate Earth's power clearly enough to deter aggression, but without triggering immediate retaliation. A cosmic warning shot. The diplomatic approach isn't working, Jack Freeman admitted. He had made 5 more trips to meet with the alien representatives. They're stalling while positioning their forces. 3 more battle groups arrived yesterday. Outside the room's windows, the night sky was unnaturally bright. Alien ships no longer bothered hiding their presence, their lights visible even in daylight. How soon can we perform the demonstration? President Grant asked. Tomorrow at dawn, Adam replied. The alignment will be optimal then. The order went out worldwide. All citizens were to remain indoors during the demonstration. Global communications shared the same message in every language. This was not an attack, but a demonstration of Earth's defensive capabilities. Sam Gordon watched the final preparations from the control center. Olivia stood beside him, checking calculations one last time. Will this work? He asked quietly. The math says yes, she answered. The ancient texts suggest they performed similar demonstrations, but never at this scale. As the sun rose over the Pacific, the Antarctic device at the main facility powered up to full capacity for the first time. Energy flowed through the satellite network, creating a resonance pattern that amplified the signal. Adam's hands moved across the control panel with practiced precision, initiating sequence in 3, 2, 1. The effect was both subtle and overwhelming. No flash of light, no dramatic explosion, just a sudden ripple in reality around Earth. The vortex, normally invisible except to specialized instruments, pulsed visibly across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. In space, the alien ships closest to Earth suddenly lost power. Their hulls distorted slightly as space-time warped around them. The effect lasted only 20 seconds before Adam cut the power. All targeted vessels disabled as predicted, Heather reported, reading from her screen. Minimal structural damage. No life support failures. They'll recover within hours. President Grant stepped forward. Send the message. Jack Freeman had carefully crafted the statement with input from linguists and cultural experts. Now it was broadcast to every ship in Earth's vicinity. This demonstration represents less than 1/10 of Earth's defensive capability. We did not create the cosmic vortex, but we have learned to direct it. We seek peaceful relations with all civilizations, but we will not be threatened, invaded, or exploited. Earth and its solar system are sovereign territory. Those who respect our boundaries will find friends. Those who do not will face the full force of the vortex. This is humanity's first and last warning. The response was immediate. Several alien ships powered up weapons systems, but the collective vessel moved between them and Earth. They're arguing among themselves, Olivia said, monitoring the communications chatter. The demonstration frightened even the most aggressive species. Hours passed in tense silence. Finally, a message arrived from Keith and Diane. The collective acknowledges Earth's sovereignty and requests formal diplomatic relations. Several delegations have departed the system. Others wish to establish embassies. The Eskar Dominion and Vosh remain hostile, but have withdrawn to a safe distance. Sam looked at the president. What now? Now, she said with the first genuine smile in weeks, we join the galactic community on our own terms. The cosmic vortex pulsed gently around Earth, no longer just a mysterious phenomenon, but humanity's shield and statement to the stars. 1 year after Earth's demonstration of the vortex technology, the solar system had transformed. A small space station orbited between Earth and Mars, serving as a meeting point for diplomatic missions. Ships from 12 different alien civilizations regularly visited, exchanging knowledge and establishing trade agreements. Sam Gordon walked through the station's main concourse, still amazed by the diversity of life he encountered daily. As head of Earth's First Contact Division, he had met more alien species than any human in history. Admiral Gordon, a voice called. Sam turned to see Olivia hurrying toward him, her eyes bright with excitement. "Still not used to that title," he said with a smile. The past year had brought promotions for many who had been involved in the Vortex crisis. The test flight was successful, Olivia reported. The Harmony completed its journey to Alpha Centauri and back in just 3 days. This was remarkable news. The Harmony was Earth's first true starship, built using a combination of human ingenuity and Vortex principles. By creating a controlled bubble of altered spacetime, the ship could effectively travel faster than light. "Any problems with navigation?" Sam asked as they walked toward the conference room. "None. The Vortex harmonizers worked perfectly," Olivia replied. "Captain Lee says the principles we developed make navigation easier than expected." In the years since Earth had established its position in galactic politics, humanity had advanced rapidly. The Meridian Collective had recognized Earth as a sovereign, protected entity with special status due to its unique relationship with the cosmic vortex. The conference room doors slid open to reveal a gathering of humans and aliens. President Grant stood at the head of the table, with Jack Freeman beside her. Keith and Diane, still serving as collective liaisons, sat among representatives from various worlds. "Admiral Gordon, Dr. Winters," the president acknowledged. "Please join us. We were just discussing the expansion of the Treaty of Sol." The treaty had been Earth's first major diplomatic achievement, an agreement that recognized Earth's sovereignty and established rules for interaction with the Vortex. Now it was being expanded to include technology sharing and mutual defense. "The Eskar Dominion has requested admission to the treaty," Jack explained. "Their aggression has been replaced with caution since witnessing our latest advancements." Paul Carter, now director of the Vortex Research Institute, brought up a holographic display showing the state of the cosmic phenomenon. "The vortex has stabilized. Our controlled usage has actually improved its efficiency while reducing its expansion rate. We've learned that balance is key," Adam Porter added. He had redesigned the ancient technology into modern, reliable systems. "The vortex responds best to gentle guidance, not forceful control." President Grant addressed the gathering. "Humanity stands at a crossroads. For most of our history, we looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know the answer, and we face a greater question. What will our role be in this vast community?" Keith spoke next. "The collective has existed for 12,000 years, but never have we encountered a species with such a unique connection to cosmic forces. Your perspective is valuable." As the meeting continued, Sam gazed out the window at Earth below. The blue planet seemed both more precious and less isolated than ever before. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy, not through conquest or submission, but by understanding and respecting the natural forces that had protected them for millennia. After the conference, Sam and Olivia stood in the observation deck watching ships arrive and depart. A massive Vosh vessel passed below, its crystalline structure reflecting sunlight. "Do you ever wonder about the ancient humans?" Olivia asked. "The ones who built the Antarctic facility." "Often," Sam replied. "Frank thinks they withdrew from galactic affairs intentionally, preserving Earth until humanity was ready to try again. And are we ready now?" Sam considered the question. In just 1 year, humans had gone from being an isolated species to establishing colonies on Mars and sending ships to nearby star systems. They had developed new technologies, medicines, and understanding that would have seemed magical only a decade earlier. "I think we are," he said finally. "Not because we're perfect, but because we're willing to learn from both our ancestors and our new allies." The cosmic vortex continued its silent rotation around Earth, no longer a mystery but a partner in humanity's journey to the stars. What had once been feared as a prison had become the doorway to a new era. 5 years had passed since Earth joined the galactic community. The initial excitement had settled into a new normal, though normal now included interstellar travel and regular contact with dozens of alien species. Earth had become a unique hub of cosmic activity, its special relationship with the vortex making it valuable to civilizations across the galaxy. In the deep research facility beneath the Antarctic ice, Sam Gordon stood before the wall of ancient symbols. Though promoted to admiral years ago, he still made time to visit this place where humanity's cosmic journey had truly begun. "I thought I might find you here," Olivia said, entering the chamber. As head of the Vortex Sciences Division, she split her time between Earth and various research outposts throughout the solar system. "Just thinking," Sam replied. "5 years ago, we thought we were fighting for survival. We never imagined this." The "this" he referred to was profound. Earth had become a center for scientific and cultural exchange. The Vortex, once feared, was now studied by scholars from 100 worlds. Humans had established outposts in 3 nearby star systems, learning and growing at an unprecedented rate. "The council meeting starts in an hour," Olivia reminded him. "They're voting on the Galactic Charter today." The Galactic Charter represented a new approach to interstellar governance. Unlike the Meridian Collective, which had operated through hierarchy and control, the Charter established a cooperative framework where each species contributed according to their unique strengths. Earth's contribution was significant. The understanding of the Vortex had led to revolutionary developments in energy production, space travel, and even medicine. Human creativity combined with alien knowledge had solved problems that had plagued civilizations for centuries. "Do you think the Vosh will finally join?" Sam asked as they walked toward the transport pad. "Their ambassadors seem positive," Olivia replied. "After we helped them stabilize their sun last year, their attitude changed completely." The orbital station where the council met had grown into a sprawling complex. Representatives from 32 spacefaring civilizations gathered in the central chamber, a marvel of diverse biology and technology. President Linda Rice, Earth's second globally elected leader, took her position at the speaking platform. The chamber quieted. "Fellow beings," she began, her voice translated simultaneously into multiple languages. "Today we vote not just on a document, but on a vision of our shared future." Sam watched from his seat among Earth's delegation. 5 years earlier, humans had been fighting for recognition. Now they were helping shape galactic policy. Keith and Diane, still serving as collective liaisons, but now close friends to many humans, sat nearby. The collective itself had evolved, its rigid structure softening under the influence of Earth's more collaborative approach. "The principles of the Charter are simple," President Reyes continued. "Respect for sovereignty, commitment to knowledge sharing, protection of developing worlds, and sustainable use of cosmic resources. These are values that transcend our biological differences." The voting process began, representatives indicating their positions through their cultural methods. Some touched light panels, others released scented chemicals, and one crystalline species vibrated at specific frequencies. When the final tally was displayed, 30 species had approved the Charter. Only the Escar Dominion and one other had abstained, with none opposing. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of celebratory sounds. Sam felt a sense of pride unlike anything in his military career. This was not a victory of conquest, but of cooperation. Later, at the reception, Sam stood with Olivia watching Earth through the station's massive viewport. The blue planet rotated peacefully, the cosmic vortex visible only as subtle distortions in the starfield around it. "We never truly understood what the ancient texts meant," Olivia said quietly. "About what?" Sam asked. "The final warning they left. We thought they were warning about the dangers of the vortex attracting attention." Sam nodded. "That's how we interpreted it." "But I think now," Olivia said, watching ships from a dozen worlds passing peacefully through Earth's orbit, "they weren't warning us about danger. They were telling us that when we embraced the vortex, we would become the center of everything, a cosmic nucleus around which something new could form." Sam considered this as he watched his home planet turning below. What had begun as humanity's last warning to the galaxy had become an invitation to a new kind of future, one where Earth's unique position at the center of the cosmic vortex had transformed not just humanity, but the very nature of galactic civilization itself.